My friends, distinguished listeners, fellow architects of destiny, lend me your ears, and more importantly, lend me the vast, untamed, and infinitely fertile landscape of your minds. For what we are about to discuss today is not merely a concept, it is a profound revelation, a fundamental truth, a liberating principle that holds the very key, the master key, to unlocking your untapped potential and forging a life of unparalleled significance. Consider the human condition, the relentless pursuit of aspiration. Most people, in their earnest desire for a better life, possess a peculiar and often crippling blind spot. They wake up, they navigate their days, they react to situations as they arise, believing that this automatic, almost unconscious process is all there is to thinking. They assume that thought just happens, a random occurrence, like the weather. But real thinking, my friends, the kind of profound, deliberate, strategic thinking that carves empires from raw ambition, the kind that transforms dreams into undeniable reality, the kind that leads to enduring success and deep fulfillment, that, my friends, is a skill. And like any skill, whether it be playing a musical instrument, mastering a complex craft, or excelling in the most demanding athletic pursuits, it must be developed, it must be cultivated. It must be refined through relentless, deliberate practice. I remember a time early in my own journey when I genuinely believed I had all the answers. I worked tirelessly. I poured every ounce of my energy into my endeavors. I toiled relentlessly day after day, burning the midnight oil, pushing my limits, yet, despite all this prodigious effort, I wasn't making progress. I was caught in a perpetual cycle of frantic activity, a hamster on a wheel, exhausted but stagnant. My aspirations remained stubbornly out of reach. Then, one day, a pivotal moment arrived. My mentor, the wise and discerning Mr. Cher, observed my frantic pace, my ceaseless activity, and posed a question so simple yet so profound that it pierced through the fog of my busyness. He asked me, "Jim, how often do you sit down just to think? Not to react, not to worry, not to simply let your mind wander aimlessly, but to actually think deliberately, deeply, strategically, purposefully." The truth, my friends, was a stark and humbling revelation. I wasn't thinking. I was too busy running in circles, doing the same things day after day, month after month, expecting different results, the very definition of futility. I was mistaking activity for progress, motion for direction. Great thinkers, successful individuals, the giants of industry, the visionaries of art, the titans of innovation, they understand this profound truth. They consciously, meticulously, and religiously set aside sacred time, often in solitude, just to think. They don't just react to the world, they proactively process it. They ask better questions. Not merely, why is this happening to me, but how can I effectively solve this problem? Not just, what opportunities am I missing, but what is the next monumental opportunity that I can create? Not simply, what can I do today, but what can I do today that will fundamentally improve my future, not just my present? When you consciously, deliberately train your mind to think critically, to think creatively, and to think strategically, a profound transformation occurs. You stop seeing life's inevitable obstacles as insurmountable barriers that block your path. Instead, you begin to see them as intricate puzzles waiting to be solved. You start seeing solutions where others are consumed by problems. You discover opportunities where others perceive only limitations. It's like a muscle, my friends. The more you use it, the more you challenge it, the stronger it gets. Your thinking capacity expands, your insights deepen, your clarity sharpens. Here's how you begin this transformative practice. Start small, just as we discussed. Set aside even 10 minutes a day, a mere 10 minutes. Use this time not to scroll, not to react, but to deliberately engage your mind. Write down your thoughts, challenge your assumptions, expand your perspective by consistently reading. Learn from the accumulated wisdom of others, because the better you think, my friends, the better you live. The quality of your life, the very fabric of your destiny, is inextricably linked to the quality of your thoughts. And here's the stark, undeniable truth. If you don't take absolute control of your thinking, if you surrender this precious faculty, someone else will. Life will do it for you. And you may not, indeed, you likely will not, like the results. Let's delve deeper into this intellectual awakening. Some people genuinely believe thinking just happens. They assume it's an automatic, passive process like breathing. But that, my friends, is a dangerous misconception. The quality of your life, the very landscape of your personal and professional world, is profoundly, irrevocably shaped by the quality of your thoughts. If you think better, you live better. If you don't take absolute control of your thinking, if you simply allow your mind to drift, to react, to shrink within self-imposed limitations, then life will seize the reins. Life will do your thinking for you, and the results, I assure you, will be far from what you desire. I remember when I first started out, I was not by any stretch of the imagination much of a thinker. I just reacted to life. If something good happened, I was happy. If something bad happened, I was frustrated, angry, or consumed by self-pity. I didn't take the necessary time, the crucial moments of quiet contemplation, to think about why things happened the way they did. I didn't seek the underlying patterns. I didn't extract the hidden lessons. And because I didn't truly think, I didn't truly grow, my life remained stagnant, a prisoner of circumstances. But then, as fate would have it, I met a man who spoke a truth so profound, so simple, yet so utterly transformative that it changed the very course of my life. He said with quiet conviction, if you work on your job, you'll make a living. But if you work on yourself, you'll make a fortune. That struck me like a lightning bolt. It was a profound paradigm shift. I had never conceived of personal growth, of working on my thinking, as something you could actively cultivate, like a craft, like a skill, like a deliberate pursuit. So I began practicing. The very first thing I learned, the initial revelation, was that thinking takes effort. It is not a passive act of contemplation. It is hard work. It demands focus. It requires mental exertion. Most people tragically don't like to think too much. It's challenging. It's easier to stay busy, to distract yourself with endless activity, to just go with the flow, to allow the current of life to carry you wherever it may. But successful people, the true architects of their destiny, think on purpose. They actively seek time to reflect. They ask themselves incisive, often uncomfortable questions. What do I really want? What's truly stopping me? What do I need to fundamentally change about my approach, about my mindset, about my habits? And they don't just ask these questions once in a fleeting moment of self-reflection. They ask them again and again, returning to them with fresh eyes, extracting deeper truths with each iteration. One of the best, most accessible, and most profound ways to supercharge your thinking is to write things down. When I first started writing in a journal, my thinking underwent a revolutionary transformation. Suddenly, my thoughts weren't just floating aimlessly in the nebulous, chaotic expanse of my head. They were right there, solid and undeniable, on paper. And when you can see your thoughts, when they are externalized and tangible, you can actively improve them. You can sharpen them, honing them like a blade. You can examine them critically. You can ruthlessly get rid of the ones that don't serve you, the limiting beliefs, the self-defeating narratives. Try it. Write down what's on your mind at the end of each day. Review it. Then ask yourself with brutal honesty, is this the kind of thinking that will take me where I truly want to go? Is this the thought pattern of the person I aspire to become? Another powerful, timeless way to elevate and improve your thinking is to read. You don't have to invent all the answers yourself. You don't need to rediscover every fundamental truth through painful trial and error. No. You have the profound privilege of learning from the greatest minds in history, from the accumulated wisdom of centuries. I remember the first time I picked up a book on success. It wasn't just a collection of words. It was like sitting down with a wise, experienced mentor who patiently unfolded profound insights before my very eyes. It gave me new ideas, fresh perspectives, and little by little, day by day, my thinking improved. If you want to develop this indispensable skill of profound thought, make reading a non-negotiable habit. Even if it's just 10 pages a day, consistently. Over time, it will fundamentally, irrevocably transform the way you think, perceive, and operate in the world. And here's something of utmost importance. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to think. If you spend your precious time with people who never ask big questions, who never push the boundaries of their own minds, who never strive for more, guess what? You won't either. Their mediocrity will infect your potential. But if you deliberately, consciously seek out and spend time with people who talk about grand ideas, about audacious goals, about innovative ways to grow and contribute, that mindset will inevitably, powerfully begin to rub off on you. Their ambition will pull you up. Thinking is a skill, yes, but only if you practice it. If you neglect it, if you allow your mind to stagnate, life will relentlessly push you around, making you a pawn in someone else's game. But if you diligently develop it, if you sharpen your intellectual tools, life will open doors for you that you never imagined existed. Most people spend their days consumed by their own immediate concerns. They think about themselves, what they want, what they need, what's in it for them, and that's natural. It's a basic human instinct. But my friends, if you want to live a truly successful life, a life of profound impact, a life of enduring legacy, you have to consciously, deliberately train yourself to think bigger than just your own needs. That's where real transformative growth happens. That's where authentic, lasting success truly begins. I learned this profound lesson early on when I was just starting out, struggling to figure things out, living paycheck to paycheck. I was so intensely focused on my own struggles, paying the bills, getting ahead, figuring out how to survive, that my world had shrunk to the size of my own immediate problems. I was desperately trying to build a better life, but I was only thinking about my own situation, my own small circle of needs. Then a pivotal moment arrived. I met a man, a beacon of wisdom, who gave me a new perspective, a truth that shattered my limited worldview. He said with an almost spiritual resonance, if you want more, serve more. If you want to be wealthy, help others succeed. If you want respect, give respect. If you want respect, give respect. That was the profound shift. Instead of only thinking about what I could get, what I could accumulate, I started thinking about what I could give, how I could serve, how I could contribute. You see, the people who achieve truly great things in life, the real titans of industry, the visionaries, the philanthropists, they don't just focus on themselves. They think about how they can contribute. They think about their family, their community, their team, their industry. They think about how they can genuinely add value. And when you start thinking that way, when your mind expands to encompass the needs of others, doors of opportunity previously invisible start swinging wide open. Take business, for example. If you want to succeed in business, to build an empire, you can't just think about what you want. You have to shift your focus entirely. You have to think about your customers. What do they need? What problems do they have? How can you genuinely, uniquely make their lives better? The most successful businesses aren't built on selfish thinking. They're built on profound service. They find a way to authentically help people, to solve their genuine problems, and in return, they prosper beyond measure. Or think about leadership. A real leader doesn't just look out for himself, consumed by ego and personal gain. A real leader thinks about the people he leads. How can I help my team grow? How can I inspire them to reach new heights? How can I bring out their absolute best, their hidden potential? That's what makes a leader truly great. It's the profound ability to think beyond himself, to prioritize the well-being and growth of others. I remember when I first started teaching, I was nervous. I wondered, will people listen to me? Do I genuinely have anything valuable to say? Am I good enough? But then, in a moment of clarity, I realized this isn't about me. It's about them. It's about helping people get better, think bigger, do more, achieve more. And the very moment I shifted my focus, my entire approach changed. I wasn't just speaking to be heard, I was speaking to help. And when you help, truly help, you grow exponentially yourself. Thinking beyond yourself also applies to your most intimate personal relationships. If you want strong, enduring friendships, if you desire a truly great marriage, you can't just focus on what you're getting, on what's being given to you. You have to think about what you're giving. How can I support them? How can I encourage them? How can I be the kind of person others want to be around? The kind of person who adds value, who brings joy. The more you focus on lifting others, the stronger, deeper, and more fulfilling your relationships become. Thinking beyond yourself doesn't mean ignoring your own needs. It means expanding your perspective. It means seeing the bigger picture. Because the profound truth is, when you help others rise, you rise too. When you make a difference, a genuine, positive impact, success in its truest form finds its way back to you. Now, my friends, let's talk about one of the biggest, most crucial differences between those who achieve extraordinary success and those who perpetually struggle, how they think about time. Most people, tragically, think short-term. They live for the immediate gratification, for what feels good right now, what's convenient, what's easy, what provides an instant dopamine hit. But success, real, lasting, profound success, does not work like that. If you want true success, enduring success, you have to consciously, deliberately train yourself to think long-term. You have to see beyond today, beyond this week, beyond this month, and make decisions that will profoundly benefit you years, even decades down the road. I learned this lesson the hard way, through painful experience. When I was young, just starting out, I spent money as fast as I made it. If I had a little extra, I found a way to spend it: new clothes, shiny gadgets, extravagant nights out. It felt good in the moment, a rush of fleeting pleasure, but it left me with nothing to show for it. My bank account was perpetually empty. My future was uncertain. Then, one day, a mentor of mine, seeing my struggle, sat me down with a grim yet compassionate look and spoke a truth that echoed in my soul. He said, "Jim, if you keep spending like this, 10 years from now, you'll still be broke. You'll still be struggling with the same problems. But if you start saving, start investing, start thinking long term, 10 years from now, you could be wealthy beyond your imagination." That was a seismic wake-up call for me. So I changed my approach. I started thinking about where I wanted to be in 5 years, in 10 years. I started saving a little, even when it was incredibly hard. I started making decisions that weren't just good for today, but profoundly good for my future. And that one fundamental shift from thinking short-term to thinking long-term changed everything. It was the very act of charting my destiny. Look at the most successful people in any field, and you'll see they all think long-term. The great investors don't chase quick, fleeting profits. They patiently, meticulously build generational wealth over time. The best athletes don't just train when they feel like it. They commit to years of brutal discipline, understanding that small daily sacrifices accumulate into championship victories. The strongest marriages don't happen overnight. They are meticulously built on years of unwavering trust, open communication, and consistent effort. Success isn't about what you do once, it's about what you do consistently over time. Think about your health. It's effortlessly easy to eat junk food today, to skip the workout today, to stay up late tonight. But do that consistently for years, and what happens? Chronic poor health, perpetual low energy, deep regrets. On the other hand, if you start eating right, exercising consistently, getting enough restorative rest, not just once, but day after day, week after week, over time, you create a body that is a fortress of health, a vessel of boundless energy. Or take finances. Many people want to get rich fast, chasing every get-rich-quick scheme. But the truth is, real wealth is built over time, patiently, diligently. If you save a little each month, invest wisely, and stay consistent, in 10 years, you'll be amazed at where you are. But if you only think about spending today, you'll always be starting over, trapped in a cycle of accumulation and depletion. Long-term thinking also applies profoundly to your personal growth. If you read a book today, you might not feel any different tomorrow. But if you keep reading, keep learning, keep absorbing new ideas, keep improving over time, your knowledge compounds. In a few years, you'll be a completely different person. Smarter, wiser, more capable, more influential. The key is patience. The key is discipline. The key is seeing beyond today and making choices that your future self will profoundly thank you for. Most people never do this. They let the present moment control them. But if you want to win in life, learn to think long-term, because the future is coming whether you're ready or not. My friends, let's turn our attention to another critical differentiator, a hallmark of all successful individuals: the unwavering commitment to being a problem solver. There are two kinds of people in life: those who solve problems and those who dwell on them. The problem solvers see obstacles as invigorating challenges to overcome, as puzzles to be deciphered, as opportunities for innovation. The problem dwellers, on the other hand, see obstacles as insurmountable barriers, as reasons to stop, as convenient excuses to surrender. And let me tell you, my friends, if you want to achieve anything of true significance, you must train yourself relentlessly to be a problem solver. I remember a time when I was struggling financially. Bills were piling up like mountains. Opportunities seemed to slip through my fingers like sand. And I was stuck, paralyzed, consumed by self-pity, endlessly thinking, why is this happening to me? And you know what happens when you ask that kind of question? You get no answers. You just get more frustration, more despair, more self-pity. One day that same wise mentor, seeing my stagnant despair, shook me up with a simple yet profoundly incisive question. He looked at me directly and said, Jim, what are you going to do about it? Not, why did this happen? Not, who's to blame? Just, what are you going to do about it? That, my friends, was a turning point, a seismic shift in my entire philosophy. I realized that dwelling on my struggles, on my perceived victimhood, wasn't going to change a single thing. The only force that would change my situation was action. So I got to work. I started learning new skills. I began reaching out to successful people. I meticulously adjusted my habits. Little by little, brick by brick, I climbed out of that hole. And I learned something powerful. Every problem has a solution if you're willing to relentlessly look for it, to diligently work for it, to bravely act for it. Now, contrast that with the problem dwellers. You've seen them. Maybe, if we're honest, you've even been one at some point. These are the people who complain about the same issues year after year, cycle after cycle, but never take decisive action. They focus on what's wrong, on who's to blame, and on why life is fundamentally unfair. They don't look for solutions. They don't take responsibility. They don't move. And because of that, their problems, like loyal companions, stay the same. Think about it. If you have a financial problem, you can either endlessly complain about the economy, your job, or your bad luck. Or you can look for proactive ways to increase your income, manage your expenses more wisely, and invest strategically. If you have a health problem, you can either dwell on how unfair it is, or you can start eating better, exercising consistently, and making better lifestyle choices. If you have a relationship problem, you can either blame the other person for all your woes, or you can work on improving yourself, on communicating better, on giving more. The truth is, life is full of problems. They are an inherent part of the human condition. They will never change. What does change, what can change, is how you handle them. The people who succeed are the ones who say, okay, this is the situation, now what can I do about it? They focus on solutions. They take action. They keep moving forward. The good news is, problem solving is a skill. And like any skill, you can get better at it. Train yourself to look for solutions instead of getting stuck in frustration. When a challenge shows up, don't ask, why me? Ask, what now? Don't wait for someone to save you, save yourself. Because the moment you decide to be a problem solver, your life will start to profoundly change. This commitment to lifelong learning is paramount. If you want to change your life, start by changing what goes into your mind, what you read, what you learn, the ideas you expose yourself to. That's what shapes your thinking, and the way you think determines the way you live. I remember when I was just getting started, struggling to figure things out. I was working hard, but I wasn't getting anywhere. Then someone gave me a book. At first I didn't think much of it. I wasn't a big reader, but I decided to give it a shot. And that book, that single book, opened my mind to ideas I had never considered before. It showed me that success wasn't about luck or talent. It was about developing the right habits, the right mindset, the right skills. That's when I realized something important. If I kept thinking the same way, I'd keep getting the same results. But if I wanted to change my results, I had to expand my thinking. And the fastest way to do that? Learning, reading, absorbing new ideas. Because here's the truth. Someone out there has already figured out what you're trying to achieve. Someone has written down the lessons, the strategies, the wisdom, and all you have to do is learn from them. Yet so many people don't take advantage of that. They struggle for years trying to figure things out on their own when they could simply pick up a book and learn in days what took someone else a lifetime to discover. Imagine how much time that saves. Imagine how much progress you could make if you committed to learning something new every day. And it's not just about books. Learning comes in many forms. Listen to those who have walked the path before you. Find mentors. Study successful people. Pay attention to what works and what doesn't. If you're in business, learn from the best business minds. If you want to improve your health, study those who have mastered it. If you want to be financially free, learn how wealth is built. The knowledge is out there, waiting for you to absorb it. I once met a young man who told me he wanted to be successful, but he wasn't willing to read books or invest in learning. He said he didn't have time. But I noticed he had time for television, for social media, for entertainment. And I told him, your future will be a reflection of what you put into your mind. A few years later, he was still in the same place, struggling with the same problems, because he never changed his thinking. He never changed his results. But I've also seen people who made learning a priority. They committed to reading just a little every day. They made it a habit to seek out new ideas. And within a few years, their entire lives transformed, because when you expand your thinking, you expand your opportunities. When you fill your mind with powerful ideas, you make better decisions, and when you make better decisions, you create a better future. So make the choice today. Start learning, start reading, start exposing yourself to ideas that challenge and inspire you. Because the more you grow your mind, the more you grow your life. My friends, let's talk about one of the biggest, most crucial differences between those who achieve extraordinary success and those who perpetually struggle: how they think about time. Most people tragically think short-term. They live for the immediate gratification, for what feels good right now, what's convenient, what's easy, what provides an instant dopamine hit. They are slaves to the present moment's fleeting desires. But success, real, lasting, profound success, does not work like that. If you want true success, enduring success, a legacy that outlives you, you have to consciously, deliberately train yourself to think long-term. You have to see beyond today, beyond this week, beyond this month, and make decisions that will profoundly benefit you years, even decades down the road. I learned this lesson the hard way, through painful experience. When I was young, just starting out, I spent money as fast as I made it. If I had a little extra, I found a way to spend it: new clothes, shiny gadgets, extravagant nights out. It felt good in the moment, a rush of fleeting pleasure, but it left me with nothing to show for it. My bank account was perpetually empty. My future was uncertain. Then, one day, a mentor of mine, seeing my struggle, sat me down with a grim yet compassionate look and spoke a truth that echoed in my soul. He said, "Jim, if you keep spending like this 10 years from now, you'll still be broke. You'll still be struggling with the same problems. But if you start saving, start investing, start thinking long-term, 10 years from now, you could be wealthy beyond your imagination." That was a seismic wake-up call for me. So I changed my approach. I started thinking about where I wanted to be in 5 years, in 10 years. I started saving a little, even when it was incredibly hard. I started making decisions that weren't just good for today, but profoundly good for my future. And that one fundamental shift from thinking short-term to thinking long-term changed everything. It was the very act of charting my destiny. Look at the most successful people in any field, and you'll see they all think long-term. The great investors don't chase quick, fleeting profits. They patiently, meticulously build generational wealth over time. The best athletes don't just train when they feel like it. They commit to years of brutal discipline, understanding that small, daily sacrifices accumulate into championship victories. The strongest marriages don't happen overnight. They are meticulously built on years of unwavering trust, open communication, and consistent effort. Success isn't about what you do once. It's about what you do consistently over time. Think about your health. It's effortlessly easy to eat junk food today, to skip the workout today, to stay up late tonight. But do that consistently for years, and what happens? Chronic poor health, perpetual low energy, deep regrets. On the other hand, if you start eating right, exercising consistently, getting enough restorative rest, not just once, but day after day, week after week, over time, you create a body that is a fortress of health, a vessel of boundless energy. Or take finances. Many people want to get rich fast, chasing every get-rich-quick scheme. But the truth is, real wealth is built over time, patiently, diligently. If you save a little each month, invest wisely, and stay consistent, in 10 years, you'll be amazed at where you are. But if you only think about spending today, you'll always be starting over, trapped in a cycle of accumulation and depletion. Long-term thinking also applies profoundly to your personal growth. If you read a book today, you might not feel any different tomorrow. But if you keep reading, keep learning, keep absorbing new ideas, keep improving over time, your knowledge compounds. In a few years, you'll be a completely different person, smarter, wiser, more capable, more influential. The key is patience. The key is discipline. The key is seeing beyond today and making choices that your future self will profoundly thank you for. Most people never do this. They let the present moment control them. But if you want to win in life, learn to think long term, because the future is coming whether you're ready or not. The ninth key to your transformation is what I call the power of standards. You see, your life will always inevitably move in the precise direction of your standards. If you raise your standards, if you set a new higher bar for what you will accept from yourself and from your life will rise to meet them. If you lower your standards, if you settle for mediocrity, your life will tragically drop to meet them. It's that simple. It's a law of human nature. Over the next 6 months, you must raise your standards in every single area of your life. Raise your standards for what you'll accept in your relationships. Raise your standards for your physical health. Raise your standards for your income. Raise your standards for your business. When you raise your standards, my friends, your life transforms. Let me tell you something interesting about human psychology. We tend to live up to our expectations. If you expect little, you'll get little. If you expect a lot, if you demand excellence from yourself, you'll get a lot. Over the next 6 months, raise your expectations. Demand more from yourself than anyone else could ever demand from you. The ninth key to your transformation is what I call the power of rituals. Your life is not shaped by random occurrences. It is meticulously shaped by your daily rituals. What you do every single day matters infinitely more than what you do once in a while. Over the next 6 months, you must establish powerful, supportive rituals that serve your goals. Here's a ritual that has changed countless lives. Wake up an hour earlier every day. That's 180 extra hours over the next 6 months. Think about what you could truly accomplish with an extra 180 hours of focused, uninterrupted time. That's equivalent to 4.5 40-hour work weeks. It's like gaining a month of highly productive time. Let me share something profound about time management. Don't count the days, make the days count. Over the next 6 months, you must become a master of your time. Time is the great equalizer. We all have the same 24 hours. It's what you do with those 24 hours that makes the profound difference. The 10th key to your transformation is what I call the power of accountability. You see, when you're truly accountable to someone, your performance doesn't just improve, it skyrockets. Over the next 6 months, find an accountability partner or join a mastermind group. Share your goals, report your progress, celebrate your wins, and analyze your setbacks. Here's something fascinating about human nature. We'll often do more to avoid letting others down than we'll do to lift ourselves up. Use this powerful psychological knowledge to your advantage. Make commitments to others, commitments you'll be inspired to keep. Let's talk about something crucial, a truth often learned only through painful experience, the power of recovery. Over the next 6 months, you're going to face setbacks. That's not negative thinking, that's reality. The key is not to avoid setbacks, the key is to recover quickly. Successful people aren't people who never fail. They're people who get up one more time than they fall down. They understand that every stumble is a stepping stone, every defeat a lesson. The 11th key to your transformation is what I call the power of focus. Here's what I've learned, a truth so simple yet so profound. Where focus goes, energy flows. Over the next 6 months, you must become laser focused on your priorities. Don't major in minor things. Don't be merely busy. Be productive. Let me share something powerful. Motivation gets you started, but habit keeps you going. Over the next 6 months, focus on building habits that will serve you for life. Don't rely on the fleeting emotion of motivation. Rely on the unyielding strength of discipline. Motivation is like a hot shower. It feels good, but the effects don't last. Discipline is the furnace that keeps you warm through the longest, coldest nights. The 12th key to your transformation is what I call the power of celebration. Most people wait until they reach their final ultimate goal to celebrate. That's a mistake. Over the next 6 months, celebrate your progress, not just your achievements. Celebration fuels motivation. It is the reward that solidifies the habit. Here's something interesting about success. Success leaves clues. Study successful people. Read their books. Listen to their podcasts. Attend their seminars. Over the next 6 months, become a serious student of success. Learn from those who have already achieved what you want to achieve. Let me share something profound about personal growth. For things to change, you must change. For things to get better, you must get better. For things to improve, you must improve. Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for fewer problems, wish for more skills. The 13th key to your transformation is what I call the power of contribution. You see, success without contribution is empty achievement. It's hollow. Over the next 6 months, find profound ways to add value to others' lives. The more value you create for others, the more valuable you become. This is a universal law of reciprocity. Here's something fascinating about wealth. Your income rarely exceeds your personal development. If you want to earn more, you must learn more. Over the next 6 months, invest relentlessly in your education, develop new skills, expand your knowledge, increase your value. Let me share something powerful about change. Most people overestimate the competition and dramatically underestimate themselves. Over the next 6 months, compete only with yourself. Try to be better today than you were yesterday. That's the only competition that truly matters. The 14th key to your transformation is what I call the power of decisiveness. You see, successful people make decisions quickly and change them slowly. Unsuccessful people make decisions slowly and change them quickly. Over the next 6 months, become fiercely decisive. Here's what's interesting about decisions. Every decision you make today shapes your tomorrow. The decisions you make over the next 6 months will determine where you'll be 6 months from now. Make decisions that your future self will thank you for. Let me share something profound about success. Success is not a destination, it's a direction. Over the next 6 months, focus on moving in the right direction. Don't worry about perfection, worry about progress. Progress equals happiness. The 15th key to your transformation is what I call the power of gratitude. You see, gratitude turns what we have into enough. Over the next 6 months, maintain a gratitude journal. Write down 3 things you're profoundly grateful for every day. That's 540 moments of gratitude. Here's something fascinating about the human mind. What you appreciate appreciates over the next 6 months. Appreciate your progress. Appreciate your challenges. Appreciate your opportunities. The more gratitude you express, the more reasons you'll have to be grateful. Let me share something powerful about personal transformation. Change is inevitable. Growth is optional. Over the next 6 months, choose growth. Choose development. Choose progress. The choice is yours, and the time is now. My friends, let me conclude with this thought. 6 months from now, you will surely arrive. The question is, where? That answer, my friends, depends entirely on the decisions you make today and the actions you take tomorrow. The next 6 months of your life are hidden in your daily routine. Remember, life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by design, your design. And today, right here, right now, you have the profound opportunity to make choices that will transform your life over the next 6 months. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Take this moment and make it perfect. The difference between where you are and where you want to be is the action you take starting today. 6 months is going to pass whether you take action or not. The question is, where do you want to be when those 6 months are over? Make these next 6 months count. Make them matter. Make them memorable. 6 months from now, you'll be telling one of 2 stories. A story of action and achievement, or a story of procrastination and regret. The choice is yours. Let me leave you with this final thought. Everything you need to create an extraordinary life is within your reach. The knowledge is available. The strategies are proven. The opportunities are endless. The only question is, are you ready to begin your next 6 months? Start now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month. Now. Take action on what you've learned today. Apply these principles. Follow this plan and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Remember, life will pay whatever price you ask of it. Ask for average, you'll get average. Ask for excellence, you'll get excellence. Over the next 6 months, ask for excellence in everything you do. Accept nothing less than your best. And finally, remember this: the next 6 months of your life can be better than the last 6 months of your life. But that won't happen by accident. It will happen by design. Your design. Take control. Take charge. Take action. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Go forth and make these next 6 months the best 6 months of your life. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today. And today, you've taken the first step toward that preparation.